So welcome back to another vlog. It's been a long time since I filmed a video. Things have just been kind of crazy, but I have finished my first year as a PhD student. So we finished spring quarter maybe like a week ago, and it was the all online quarter because of the COVID coronavirus, and then the last week got kind of added insult to injury by having another pandemic of police brutality. So it was very like hard to kind of like focus and be in that school mindset with so much going on in the world. But yeah, it was kind of rough, so I didn't really feel like vlogging, and I've been like making videos, but yeah, kind of hard to think of what to say. So now it's kind of summer, which means that I work for 20 hours a week, and I think I'm gonna take one class, so we'll see how that goes. And it'll start July. It won't start July, it'll end July. It starts Monday. After your first year in a lot of PhD programs, you have things like prelim or comps, or like a kind of a sometimes multiple choice, sometimes short answer like exam to continue in the program and to be able to work on your dissertation and submit your proposals. And that was canceled for our class. That was supposed to be this coming Monday. And there were some like kind of like debates on what that means, and if we should have to take it the following year, or just with kind of the circumstances, if it makes sense just to cancel it. So they decided to cancel it, so there won't be like study vlogs for that. But yeah, it's kind of weird as a class not to do that. Whenever I was applying there, everyone was talking about like the study groups that you make for that, and we knew with the quarantine that it wouldn't be the same because we wouldn't be able to like meet in person and study, but then also with the police brutality, going on, it was additionally an unfair burden to put on people to have to take a test, which really just doesn't seem important with all of the other work that kind of needs to be done. So yeah, that's kind of my update on my spring quarter, and now we're kind of doing summer. I think so far the university feels like they'll be able to open in fall, and so I've registered for fall classes, which is exciting. So I have heard from other people that it might just be like small size classes opening up again. Yeah, kind of really unsure of how next year's gonna play out. I think a lot of people are wondering that. I mean, after working from home so long, I feel like the whole job market might change in that sense, that working from home might be seen as more normalized. It might just continue for more people. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see how kind of remote learning goes, because now schools have realized that they can do it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And it's kind of just like a day of working and stuff. I just wanted to start filming and trying to get back in the saddle of that. Though it's hard. It's hard to do right now. Yeah, not much else kind of to say about that. But just drinking some iced coffee. I also, kind of on that line of thought, I wanted to share some kind of like book recommendations, and I hope you will also leave some of your book recommendations in the comments below. And these are books by Black authors. So I have like a mix of kind of like non-fiction and fiction, because I think it's also really important to for people to become more educated on actual like topics from nonfiction, but also to hear other people's stories and read more literature. So one of like the nonfiction ones, and as some of you may know from some of my other videos, my background is in criminal justice reform. So the new Jim Crow is a great one to give you kind of an overview of how, even if we kind of claim that people are becoming more colorblind, how that's not actually true historically, and how these things that may look not racist actually are, like the criminal justice system. I haven't read this one yet, but this is going to be a book club for our department, and it's Who Do You Serve, Who Do You Protect? And it's a collection of essays kind of about that topic, about policing and the racism in policing. And now, as some of you also may know from like my Instagram, I'm a huge fiction reader. I love contemporary fiction and historical fiction, and so I have a lot of recommendations there. One, which I don't have the book anymore, I tend to put the books I finished reading into like little libraries around the neighborhood, and that's Homegoing. That's like one of my favorites. It's also really, it's not that big, but it goes across like different generations, and it's just a really great book, and it's really a great one because it has that historical angle, so you're learning, but it's also just a really gripping, moving story. This is one I recently read. I actually found this one in the tiny library, so when I was putting books in, I found this one out, and this is The Care and Feeding of Ravenously Hungry Girls. This is a great like contemporary fiction novel about a family where the parents are being held on trial and going to prison, and like the family all surrounding that. It kind of reminded me a little bit of An American Marriage, but I like this one more than An American Marriage. It's kind of that similar angle to that, and the cover's just beautiful. If you are more into like sci-fi, I recommend this series to everyone. I think this is the last book in it. I probably put the other ones in the tiny library, but what's the trilogy called? The Broken Earth trilogy. For the first book's the 5th season, so I always just call it the 5th season, but this is an amazing sci-fi fantasy series. Love it. And I need to read more by M.K. Jemisin, because I think those will be so good. Here's some that are on my to be read list. So The Water Dancer, I haven't started this one yet, but I'm really excited to, and I haven't read any of Coates's nonfiction. I need to put those on the list. And then this is a brand new one, The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, and I've heard about her other book too, which I haven't read, so I'm excited to read this one. I've heard only like good things from reviews about this one, so I'm excited to read this because this one seems right up my alley. So those are some of my like recent book recommendations. If you are interested, I think there's a movement to purchase more Black authors so that we can get those on the like best-selling lists and on lists from bookstores and be promoted more, because I think that's part of the other problem. There's the problem of police brutality and literally murders and violence, and also of people not being represented. So yeah, just some recommendations. If you have any others, leave them in the comments. I love reading, so I would love to read them.